Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Henry. I am at Brohm Lake in Squamish, BC, and it's been sort of on and off raining for the last quite a few days, and then tomorrow onwards the weather is looking really crappy, so today was like the solid one day of solid sunshine, so thought I'd come out here, do a dive, and before the weather turns bad again. I really don't like diving in the rain because my dive underwear gets wet and then I get cold. So this lake here, I have not been here since last year, so the area that traditionally see a lot of garbage from just drinking and stuff, we'll see how much stuff there is. Normally I actually go in from the spot that I clean it and then I come back. I'm just too lazy to walk all the way over. It's actually about 400 meters to carry my gear, so this little spot is just down the hill from the parking lot. So I'm going to launch from here, scooter across to about 300-400 meters to where the actual the sort of, not the last of the drinking spot, but it's the last of the, I think it's called the dog beach area. So I'm going to go over, clean that, and then come back and get out of the water here. So alrighty, we'll see you guys in the water. Alright, as I explained earlier, I started out at a closer beach to the parking lot, and then I have to scooter out to the dive area. And here we go. This is about 300-400 meters away. You can see here is a pretty vertical wall actually that continues from the top, and it just kind of, you can see the roundness of it, and just continues on the water down to about, I think it's like 27 feet or so. So start at the far end where the kind of the treed area is. So this is past a rock cliff, and I was actually quite surprised at how much trash there is in this area, considering that it's actually heavily treed and it's actually not next to the rock face. So the rock face at this point is actually behind me, and and I continued on because I could just see so much trash. I think there's a scene coming up. Here we go. This is a shot. Every single white thing that you see is a piece of trash. So right away, you see beer cans. It's like a plastic food bag or shopping bag, something like that. And of course, beer can after beer can in this area here. And so the best I could do is basically clean until I can't see anymore, and move around a little bit. Of course, what's a cleanup dive without finding golf ball? There's a Tetra food pack, beer can, and the golf ball. You see here quite a bit of trash. There's oh, more beer can. What do you know? So at this point here, I've actually turned around and started to head towards the rock face because I made such a crap show of the silt in the area that I started that I had to actually just turn around and head towards the rock face. So this area here is the silt bank that's below the rock face, probably down around like 30 feet or so. Yeah, 29 feet. There we go. Oh, golf balls. Once my onion bag gets full enough, I tend to just leave it in one spot and then take mental note of what the depth is, and then swim around and pick up trash, and then just bring the trash back to the onion bags. That I just personally find that's the most efficient way to do things. Ooh, sunglasses. As you can see here, definitely making a giant silt cloud. This is actually really hard for me to see. The GoPro actually picks this up really well because it does pretty well for a GoPro 7 in low light, but the human eye, it does very poorly in this kind of visibility. So deploy the lift bag. Ooh, more sunglasses. Deploy the lift bag and gather more trash. Sometimes I have to make very good use of my hands, trying to grab as many things as I can, knowing that I'm not going to go back to the same spot. And as you can see here, my onion bag is getting very full, and I've got the lift bag. Oh, look at this old bottle. This is a good one. I can't remember if I kept this bottle or not, but that's a pretty cool looking old Coke bottle. As the kids on TikTok say, you're coming home with me. And it took me a second to realize what this is. It is a wired earbud headphones. And it's time to scooter head towards home. And of course, I had to stop because I saw more trash. So some beer cans, A lot of times I try to grab these trash even when I'm on my way home, knowing that it's sometimes I may not see that trash again for another year or two because when I dive next year in the spot, I may not actually encounter the same garbage. I actually didn't know what that was when I picked it up, but I just knew that it was a piece of garbage, so I just shoved it into the bag. This is probably one of my least favorite things to find, like giant deployed umbrellas or tents, like things that create a massive amount of drag in the water. In this dive spot, in one of the first years that I dove, I actually found an entire tent. Obviously, the wind had caught it and blew it into the lake and it sunk, and I couldn't physically take the tent apart underwater, and I had to actually swim back with the tent completely deployed. That took forever. So I was so happy with this umbrella. I could actually close it and then put the whole thing into my onion bag. That just made it so much easier. This was not a horrific trip home. So here we go, 36 feet, 27 minutes into the dive, 1992 PSI, so basically 2000 PSI left. It was not a deep dive at all. There's like the top half of a phone. Funny enough, the bottom half of the phone was probably buried in the sill. I just couldn't see it. So here we go, some bottles, vape, and wheat grinder. Cool. And again, heading home now. This is definitely no longer anywhere near that little cliff jump rock area. One of the least favorite things for me to find as well is one of these plastic paddles. Luckily, this one here I could actually take apart because I just hate swimming with them. They're just awkward and unwieldy. I was able to take this apart and just shove it into the onion bag, as you can see here, in two smaller sections. Made it so much easier. So again, scootering on my way home, and of course I'm always seeing things in the water. A little bracelet thing. Now, as I see the swimmer trash, I know I'm getting much closer to the beach picnic area because like sometimes children drop these things or whatever. So, mask, snorkel, or not swimmer. Those what do you call those? Swim eye goggles. They're not masks. Once I get to a certain depth, the air in the lift bag kind of takes over, so I just let the lift bag go and this popped to the surface, and I followed the lift bag to the top.
Oh man, I didn't even go very deep. So I think you could see from my video when I scooted out to the rock face, that's where a lot of people jump off and drink whatever, and either people throw stuff in or the wind catches it, kind of like that big umbrella that was open. Obviously the wind caught it and went flying. And I wanted to go deeper, and I never made it there. Face is frozen. So I only got to the shallow part. I went to like 30 feet around my max. But man, I got a ton of stuff and so much more there, and I never even got to it because I would mess up the visibility and I couldn't see anymore. Anyway, let me get out of my suit, show you what I got. I was wondering what this thing is. Looks like a mattress. This is the third wheat grinder that I found. Ooh, that's a full one. All right, that's the pile. 49.5 pounds. We got one air mattress, like for camping. I actually didn't know what that was. I just knew that it wasn't supposed to be there, so I grabbed it. Got some chip bags, grocery bag, a couple of shirt top things, sock, pair of women's sandal, 35mm film. That's the first time I found one of those. Got some cups, Got a whole bunch of bottles there. Got one really cool old one. I don't know if that's worth anything. Take control. But apparently you couldn't take control of your bracelet and you lost it in the water. So that was not very good. Take control. Random bits and bobs. Got a vape, some lighter. Lots of golf balls today. Some paddle. There's a lot more lawn chair parts down there, but I was just so big and unwieldy, and I'm here by myself, and I didn't really want to deal with it. I'll get it one day. And then there's 20, 30, 36 beer cans. So there we go. That's the trash from Brohm Lake here in Squamish. I flooded my left glove again, and it flooded so bad I had to stop about 60 seconds into the dive and actually come out of the water, reset the glove completely, like take the glove apart. By then my hand was already soaking wet, but I didn't want any more water to enter the suit. But yeah, taking that extra 5 minutes and getting my gloves set so I could actually continue with the rest of the dive was a smart choice. But anyway, I still got one soaking wet hand that was really, really cold. So as a result, I'm cold. So it was a 52-minute dive. Hard dive for me just because it was a lot of work actually, and I was really cold. All right. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters. We'll see you guys in the next one.